Fans, here are the first 11s, beginning with the away side, the Chicago Kics Football Club. Their captain, number 15, Bella Lebovich. Goalkeeper, number 1, Alexandra LaQuaglia. Number 2, Brielle Rochester. Number 5, Sophia Scubis. Number 8, Josie Bieta. Number 12, Alexa Orozco. Number 16, Mia Dosen. Number 19, Zavana Lebovich. Number 33, Jocelyn Prosek. Number 34, Ella Ruka. And number 63, McKenna Shaw. The Kics are coached by Thomas Shergan. And now, the first 11 for your Lake Michigan Division champion, Milwaukee Torrent. Number 31, your captain, Kelly Swenson. In goal, number 1, Mickey Easter. Number 4, Sophia Balistreri. Number 8, Lauren Hernandez. Number 10, Lainey Higgins. Number 18, Adriana Alberts. Number 19, Alexa Melides. Number 22, Maddie Soleric. Number 23, Elsie Twombly. Number 27, Greta Hansen. And number 28, Abby Hall.
Please rise. And now to honor America and all that it stands for, as well as our freedom and those who serve to protect it, the playing of our national anthem.
From Charles Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, on an overcast and warm July day, we should say, it's FC Milwaukee Torrent time here in Milwaukee. Good afternoon, everyone. Dan Pfeiffer along with you, as today we bring you your newly crowned Lake Michigan Division champion, FC Milwaukee Torrent women's side, as they take on Chicago Kics FC in their final game of the regular season, a tune-up for the Torrent as they prepare for their Midwest Conference playoff game that is to come on Saturday night here at Hart Park, and we do want to see you out here at Hart Park for that contest if you can be here, because that does promise to be a good one. We have a lot to talk about in relation to that contest. But first, let's mention that this contest could have been for the Lake Michigan Division Championship if it were not for the fact that the Chicago Kics could not hold serve in their match earlier this week against the Iowa Raptors. The Kics came in 3 points behind the Torrent. They needed to get that victory in that match on Friday night at Iowa in order to stay in the running to at least come level with the Torrent points-wise, and they would have then won the Lake Michigan Division Championship if they could have beaten the Torrent today had they not lost to Iowa, because they would have been level points-wise, and the Kics would have won both matchups against the Torrent because the Kics won the first matchup against the Torrent back on June 18th by a 2-1 final. However, that was the final score in Iowa in favor of the Raptors as they defeated the Chicago Kics, meaning that this match ultimately is only about pride as the Torrent have secured the conference, or the division championship, we should say, and that does mean that they are going to move on to the Midwest Conference Championship game, which will be held once again on Saturday night in 6 days here at Hart Park. So this is more of a warm-up for the Torrent than anything as we get set for that Midwest Conference Championship game. Although the Torrent and Andy Davi are not the type to take any challenge lightly, and we do expect to see the Torrent try and avenge that loss that they had to the Chicago Kics earlier this season, 2-1, down at the De La Salle Institute near Guaranteed Rate Field on the south side of Chicago. Real quick, you did hear the starting lineups as passed along to you by our public address announcer and broadcast producer Kevin O'Connor earlier, but we'll run through them one more time for the Torrent. Balistreri, Hernandez, Higgins, Alberts, Miletus, Solaric, Twombly, Hansen, and Hall will join Mickey Easter, while for the Chicago Kics, it will be Rochester, Skubis, Bita, Orozco, Bela Lebovic, Mia Dosen, Zivana Lebovic, Prosic, Rucka, and Shaw in front of their goalkeeper, Alexandria Laquaglia. We are underway here in Milwaukee. The Kics over the top of the ball. Possession on the left wing for the Kics. Again, it was a 2-1 victory for the Kics the first time these two teams played. As that ball is sent over the touchline, Josie Bita, who is familiar with the Milwaukee area because she is a Marquette Golden Eagle, and we have brought up the Torrent's connections with the Marquette program. But Bita also out there leading the way for the Kics on the attack. Nice step-over move by Skubis. She'll send it out to the wing. Opportunity for Rucka to send a cross in. Does get it inside the 18. One touch over the top. But Kelly Swenson able to fight off the attacking player and clear the ball out across the touchline, even keeping it from going out for a corner. Good recovery there by Swenson. For a second, it looked like Rucka was going to have the advantage on her to her left. But Swenson was able to get that ball away. This is the ball played into the middle, 1v1. Controlled by the Kics, but we're going to get a whistle. And they will say that the Kics were offside. So the Torrent will get possession for the first time today. Sent forward by Abby Hall. And now the Torrent will try and build out of the back in the organized way that we have seen the Torrent operate throughout this 2023 season. And it has been a spectacular one for the Torrent. Sitting on 18 points coming into today, 6-1 on the year. That only loss coming again to the Kics earlier this season. Ball down the right wing looking for Sophia Balistreri, but a bit too far for her. It'll be a throw-in for the Kics. Even with this match having nothing on the line but pride, do expect this one to be a good one today. Again, two evenly matched sides. The lone goal for the Torrent in the first match between these two teams, scored by Elsie Twombly. McKenna Shaw had one of the two goals for the Chicago Kics. She is in the first 11 for the Kics today. Megan Hutchinson had the other goal. She is not with the Kics this afternoon as the season comes to an end. And in these cases and times, especially around the holidays, sometimes players will make their way back to their families or begin preparing for their college season, maybe even work on some college camps. I know the Marquette men's soccer team has had its camp going on. The women had some camps over the course of the last few weeks. The Torrent have their camps at different times of the year because here in season, of course, the focus is on going out and playing winning football, as it were. Good through ball over to the left side, looking for Miletus, but it's just a bit too far for her. That will go over the end line, and we will have a goal kick for the Kics. Alexandra Laquaglia, the keeper for the Kics, was listed as number 1 on the roster. Looks like she's wearing number 35 for the Kics, but that tends to happen with keepers. You kind of just find whatever jersey has a different color than your teammates and toss it on. So no worries for us. We know Laquaglia is the one who is in goal today. Of course, Mickey Easter is the one who will man the posts on the other side of the pitch for the Torrent. Easter has to retreat from the edge of the 18 as the Kics go on the counter. Far side, ball touched forward by McKenna Shaw, who did have that goal in the first matchup, but it's a bit too far in front of her attacking fellow teammate. Looks like that's Zivana Lebovic on the far side. Will have a goal kick for the Torrent. Again, Torrent content to work out of the back, like to break teams down. Very organized style. Perhaps unsurprising given the German roots of Torrent head coach Andy Davi. Ball played into the midfield, sent to the near side. Balistreri again over the ball. She'll send it right back. Lainey Higgins in the middle of it all, taken away by the Kics and Sophia Skubis. However, she cannot make a good pass, and it will be taken back by the Torrent and Adriana Alberts. Balistreri again on the near side. One touch forward, a little bit too far right of the mark. Actually, that was touched out by the Kics. So it'll be Higgins with the throw-in. Andy Davi giving instructions right in front of Higgins. Alberts. Couple touches. Torrent content to just maintain possession. Hall. Back to Swenson. Far side, Greta Hansen. Ball towards the edge of the 18. Headed up in the air by Zivana Lebovic. Torrent able to maintain possession in the midfield. 50-50 ball won by the Kics. Sent forward a little bit too far of the target, and that will be our first shot of the day for either side. It's taken by Lainey Higgins, perhaps an optimistic ball, and she didn't get much pace on it. Easy for LaQuaglia to collect that ball, and she will send it away via the punt. Taken again by the Torrent, sent over to the far side. Couple touches for Maddie Solaric. Into the middle. Headed away by Bella Lavovic, the captain for the Kics. Higgins wins the ball. Knocked away from her, though, and now the Kics will go on the counter again. That's Beta right in the middle. Gets past her defender, Hansen. Beta. Now she runs into Kelly Swenson, and Kelly Swenson, as she often does, disrupts the attack. Such good instincts from Swenson. Ball into the middle, one touch, and that's up and over. Mia Dosen was there. Tried to get it with the left foot. Great ball sent in by Beta. Easter saw it go by her and has to feel a little bit fortunate that that touch went high and wide. However, give credit to Dosen. One touch. If she could have converted on that, that would have been one of the prettier goals that we have seen in the WPSL this week. Give the Kics credit, even though they have nothing more to play for, with the division already having gone by the wayside, and after that 2-1 loss in Iowa the other night, they have come out fighting in this contest. We're in the 8th minute. Throw in for the Torrent on the far side. Greta Hansen will be the one to take it. Mentioned Maddie Solaric, and I want to issue an apology from last week. Had talked about Solaric as a Marquette alum. She is not. She is currently attending Northern Iowa. Got her confused with her sister, Leah Solaric, who is a Marquette alum. Leah is now working as a physical therapist. Maddie, one of 3 Solarics to have played college soccer. The middle sister, Katie, played at Loras. Maddie will be going into her junior year as a UNI Panther this coming season. So got the Solaric sisters confused and didn't mean to do that. Sometimes my familiarity with the Marquette program, as that is a through ball that goes out beyond the end line. Another goal kick for the Chicago Kics. I tend to think everything revolves around Marquette. You know, that's not the way the world works. But nonetheless, Maddie Solaric and the Torrent had an outstanding match in that contest last week. They got that 6-0 victory. hoping to keep the momentum going after they also got a win on Friday night as well. By the way, good to have you on board on the YouTube channel. Again, Dan Pfeiffer here with the call of this contest as the Torrent take on the Kics. Still scoreless in the 10th minute now. Couple opportunities for both teams thus far, including a good one for the Kics. Off the foot of Mia Dosen, but still nothing on the scoreboard just yet, and we do expect this to be a more competitive contest again than last week's one that we had for you on the YouTube channel. Whistle and a foul at midfield. It'll go against Beta. Looks like it was Higgins that absorbed the contact, and she was a little slow to make her way down the pitch. However, it looks like she's okay now. More contact, more grabbing. Peter Bernardi, our official. Yes, he does call the foul, and then he's not happy with what Andy Davi had to say about it. Fourth official comes over and also talks with Davi. When it happens right in front of Davi, you kind of have to expect him to have a reaction to it. Now Thomas Schergen, one of the co-head coaches for Chicago Kics FC. He also comes over and wants to discuss things. First touch too heavy for the Torrent. That goes out beyond the end line. Goal kick for the Kics. Thomas Schergen, interesting story, mentioned that the Kics play most of their home matches at the De La Salle Institute on the near south side of Chicago. Schergen is also the principal at the De La Salle Institute. Has to make it pretty easy for them to find field time when they need it at that fine institution down there. I have the chance to get to that part of town a little bit further south, Hyde Park, as I do some work for the University of Chicago on occasion. And interesting place. That's on and in! Adriana Alberts! First goal of the match! FC Torrent takes a 1-0 lead. It took us all by surprise. Alberts just took 2 touches. First one, put it up in the air. Second one, over the top of everyone, and it finds the side of the net. 1-0 FC Milwaukee Torrent. A clinical strike by Alberts, and the Torrent strike first. Looked like it came from just outside the 18. Alberts caught us all sleeping there. Did not expect her to take that shot. She sold it perfectly. 1-0 for the Torrent. Here I am talking about Chicago and stuff down in Hyde Park and the south side of Chicago, but the action here in Milwaukee, just as good, if not better. That goal comes in the 12th minute. Sent forward by Kelly Swenson over the top of the entire Torrent attack, and that comes down to LaQuaglia. LaQuaglia got caught a little flat-footed on that goal. Again, the Torrent, the kind of club that can sometimes lull you to sleep with how they look for so many good opportunities. They look for that clear window to really put the ball on frame with pace. But Alberts, well marked, just had a small window and decided to send it towards goal. Very well placed, as mentioned. Caught the side of the twine. This is Beta on the attack for the Kics. Couldn't get much pace on the shot. It was blocked by Swenson anyhow. Not sure if that was intended to be a shot by Brielle Rochester or not, but it Went forward towards the goal and across the end line. Goal kick for the Torrent. Mickey Easter will chase it down. Now Peter Bernardi coming all the way to the near side touchline. And he's going to make a point to Thomas Schergen. Quietly, personally. Trying to make sure to keep this under control early on. And it appears, can't say I know a lot about Thomas Schergen, but do know quite a bit about Andy Davi. And it appears as though these are two coaches, we can say this for sure with Andy, that are pretty vocal on the touchline. Should also correct myself here, too. Mentioned co-head coaches for the Chicago Kics. I believe that might be Antonio Godinez, who is the one who is wearing the hat. I think Schergen is the one that is on the bench right now, so might have to get confirmation on that. As that ball goes over the end line, we'll have a goal kick again for the Kics. This one's covered pretty much the entire pitch thus far. Both teams good at staying spread out, keeping their shape. Challenge right at the edge of the 6. Torrent will get possession. An effective challenge as the Kics decided to try and do what the Torrent have been trying to do. Just play out of the back. It didn't work for them at first. Now the Kics will look to counter. Coming down the left side, Dosen, she had that shot in the first 10 minutes. Sent away, Abby Hall. Throw in for the Kics, and that will slow down the attack. You can see the Kics really want to get out and counter when they have the opportunity. That throw-in goes right to Sofia Balistreri. However, it is controlled by Skubis. Balistreri challenges, sends it out beyond the touchline. Another throw-in for the Kics. And once again, we see Skubis' throw, first touched by a Torrent player, and now the Torrent do get possession. Miletus couldn't quite get enough on it, cutting across Bella Lebovic, the captain for the Kics. Ball played all the way back to the keeper, LaQuaglia. Kics holding possession through the defensive line. Thought there might have been a handball there on Beta. No call. However, the Torrent do maintain possession. Hernandez over to the left side. Ooh, just beyond the outstretched leg of Alberts, who had the goal. Correction, that was Miletus on that far side. Nonetheless, this is what makes the Torrent attack so dangerous. They have so many different ways that they can beat you. And we do talk about how the Torrent use that flat back to kind of try and direct everything that the opposing team will do attacking-wise towards the outstanding play of Kelly Swenson in the back. But when it comes to what goes on in the front, right side, left side, from distance, off the build, you name it, the Torrent can do it. There is a reason they are 6-1. It's a group that works well together, and they don't let adversity get to them. We'll see cards, we'll see fouls. They may even give up a goal or two now and then, but it doesn't stop what they do. It is a confident group. It is a very soccer-savvy group, as you would expect for a group of young women that comes out of this part of the state where there is so much good youth soccer instruction, up and down, left and right. Free kick for Bella Lebovic. Headed once, cleared away. Hernandez to the outside in Balistreri. The Torrent will counter. Ball towards the middle, completely unmarked. Balistreri, contact made. Yeah, 5 of 7 matches the Torrent have played have been shutouts. And, of course, they only dropped the one match to the Chicago Kics. That other goal was scored by that Iowa team in that 6-2 match that the Torrent won in Iowa. Offside is the call against the Kics, as they looked to counter, but Zivana Lebovic too far out in front of the Torrent back line. Free kick for the Torrent. This is a very complete FC Milwaukee Torrent team. Not an easy team to find a weakness in. And trust me, as we get set for that Midwest Conference Championship game, do want to say a fond hello to all of our friends in Columbus, Ohio, with Columbus Eagles FC, who will be the foe in that contest. Certainly, some of them are watching as they try and figure out what they can try and do to challenge the Torrent. A lot of contact on Kelly Swenson. 50-50 ball. Looked like a full two-hand shove on Swenson. She does a somersault, give her a 9.4 on the dismount. Kics do maintain possession, although they can't advance forward. Orozco, good turn on the ball. Sends it out wide, but can't find Rucka on the wing. And we'll have a throw-in for the Torrent. Again, that match will be Saturday night, 7 p.m. here at Hart Park. And if you are a FC Milwaukee Torrent supporter, we want to see you out here for this one. That ball goes up into the stands here at Hart Park. Again, we are on the west side of this Hart Park facility. You can hear a little breeze blowing into our booth right now, facing east towards Lake Michigan. 74-degree day here in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Tosa Village Classic Bike Race, of course, went on last week. No bicyclists, at least no racing bicyclists, going by on the streets near Hart Park today. You will see the train probably at some point. Part of the trademark of this unique facility here in Wauwatosa. Partly cloudy skies, 63% humidity, which is part of the reason why it feels warmer than 74 right now. Also, winds out of the northeast at 13 miles per hour, and to be brutally honest, that's a little unfortunate given the wildfires in Canada. We talked about those during the last broadcast. Torrent with it inside the 18. Scrap for possession, taken away by the Kics. They'll clear it down the pitch. Swenson able to keep the Torrent in the attacking third. 2v1. Kics come away with the ball. Over the top, that'll be controlled by the Torrent. Yeah, we brought it up last week, and then midweek here in Milwaukee, the smoke just really rolled in to the point where it felt like it was almost foggy here in town because there was so much smoke from the Canadian wildfires that had come in. They mentioned that Brookfield, which is a little west of here in Wauwatosa, actually ended up having the worst air quality in the world on Wednesday, measured by the Air Quality Index, the AQI, the number of particles per million that are basically just not stuff you're supposed to be breathing in. And again, with that wind blowing out of the northeast, that might not bode well for conditions going forward as that ball is actually knocked back towards the goal. The Kics are having a lot of trouble trying to play the ball out of the back, and give credit to the Torrent. That's Elsie Twombly, who is not conceding those balls in the back when Chicago Kics FC decide to build. And that's the second time now in the last few minutes that we have seen the Kics almost put themselves in a really bad situation just off of a goal kick. Now, in a few seconds, we're going to pan left because the Kics are going to go with the long goal kick here. And what you're going to see is the Torrent are going to bring in pretty much everyone in the city of Milwaukee who's not already in the match. That ball is played forward towards net. Diving save made by LaQuaglia. Alexa Miletus with that shot. Yeah, so you're going to see an entirely new Milwaukee Torrent side as soon as we get a stoppage here. And to be honest, at the halfway mark of this first half, and knowing how big of a match you have coming up next week, why not go with a new side and keep everyone as fresh as possible and give them experience, as well as, once again, putting some new things on film for all of those folks in Columbus to see. So
Liesel Auden, number 17, Victoria Scrivello, and number 88, Savannah Sievert.
Had to turn up our public address announcer and producer Kevin O'Connor for that one because he, better than I, was able to capture who all 9 of those players were that went in, and we will try and make a point to name them as they get over the ball. That's Victoria Crivello. She takes over on the right wing for Sofia Balistreri. A throw in for the Kics. Yeah, everyone but Kelly Swenson. Subbed out for the Torrent. And Mickey Easter, of course, in goal. That also means that we have the Swenson sisters out there, Katie and Kelly now. And this ball will be played back to Kelly Swenson, the only remaining member of the starting lineup. Gives you an idea just how much she holds things together out of the back, kids. See Savannah Sievert out there wearing number 88, one of the higher numbers that you'll see. Senya Moyer in the middle for the Torrent. Caitlin Owens as well, as that one is sent forward by the Kics. But an easy play on one hop for Mickey Easter. Sent forward. Speaking of Victoria Crivello, tries to play it back to the middle, but it's controlled by the Kics. Moyer organizing the Torrent attack. Lola Wojcik out there wearing number 9. Sievert over the ball. Back to Moyer. Torrent just controlling possession through the midfield, and now they'll play it back. Owens can't find a teammate. Kics can't organize the attack. Josie Bita unable to do much with it. Again, Kelly Swenson back out to Sievert on the outside. Kelly Swenson over to Katie Swenson. Katie, however, cannot control. We'll have a throw in for the Kics, and we'll have a substitution for the Kics. Anna Pons. Looks like she's replacing Mia Dosen, who again had that best opportunity of the day thus far for the Kics in the first 10 minutes. Into the middle, a couple touches. However, nothing there for Sydney Segal out there for the Torrents. Sent out over the touchline by the Kics. Another throw in for the Torrent and the crew. Yeah, so with that wind coming out of the northeast, if that is what the jet stream is doing on the whole today, presuming that we don't have anything swirling up above the state of Michigan or whatnot, that's unfortunate for those of us here in Wisconsin, as that means that that may bring some of that Canadian smoke back down in this direction. And not that those of you watching in Chicago or maybe even Columbus don't know a thing or two about that. Saw the pictures from Chicago as well where they were dealing with those issues just as much as we were up here. Wojcik ball a little bit too far for Crivello. Goal kick for the Kics. Yeah, there were events that were being canceled here in Milwaukee because the air quality was so bad. Same thing in Madison. And yeah, they say it's hazardous is the term that they use. They say that Kevin O'Connor, my producer, is saying that if you were outside for 8 hours, it was roughly the equivalent of smoking 3 packs of cigarettes. And then our marketing guy, Scott Wegner, says, yeah, maybe I was outside for 8 hours and smoked 3 packs of cigarettes. And that's why Scott's got that raspy voice you can hear in all the men's broadcasts. So we're going to have a yellow card issued here. And it looked like they might have given that one to Kelly Swenson. He kind of just pointed to a group of players, didn't bring an individual over. So not exactly sure who got that one. Not seeing any reaction to the PA announcements to indicate that anyone believes that wasn't on Swenson, but we'll find out if it wasn't. Results in a set piece for the Kics. Hooking ball towards the near post by Bella Lebovic. Again, the Kics captain, but Mickey Easter, even though she goes to the ground, ultimately has no issue with that one. Bella Lebovic maybe trying to use the bounce of this Hart Park turf to challenge Easter, bring her out a little bit in front of the net and force her to play the hop, but Easter knows the facility quite well and was able to make that play. Now the Torrent coming back the other direction. Good ball sent forward by Sophia Miranda. Touched, kept in for the moment by Katie Swenson. Forced out, and it'll be a throw-in for the Torrent. Hey, great hustle by Katie Swenson there to keep that one on the table. As we see Mia Dosen, after a brief respite, set to come back on. And she will replace Brielle Rochester. Kics going with subs one at a time, whereas the FC Milwaukee Torrent Cousins sub was kind of more of a party sub. As big as you can get. Ball played towards the middle. Sent in. Victoria Crivello, right on frame. Handled by LaQuaglia. Might have to go back and look up just what sizes Cousins sells those party subs in. It's been a while since I've had to think about ordering those. They have the party boxes, too. Torrent again on the attack. Crivello on the right side. Bit of a mistouch, but it is still possessed by the Torrent. Sent towards frame, and another good shot. That's Wojcik. But again, it's saved by LaQuaglia. They are trying to force LaQuaglia to her right. Of course, Adriana Alberts earlier with that goal in the 12th minute. That was to LaQuaglia's right. Went right over her right shoulder into the net. Wojcik looking to do the same thing. Kept that one along the turf. And LaQuaglia now able to make the adjustment. Just a ball sent long that goes over the end line. Result will be a goal kick for the Kics. Substitution for the Kics to come. First action of the afternoon for Carly Ferguson. At least you would think that she would be headed in. And now we do see Ferguson head in for Sophia Skrubis. Emma Doyle also comes to the table. They will pause on that substitution, however. 33rd minute, as mentioned. The lone goal of the match thus far belongs to FC Milwaukee Torrent. Came on the strength of a two-touch play by Adriana Alberts. And that is why the Torrent have the advantage. Now we do see Emma Doyle come in. Or at least she started to go in. Now we'll see her come on. She'll get Ella Rucka. Far side. Knocked out. Another throw in for the Torrent. Katie Swenson's going to take this one. Unless she passes it back. She does. Make it Savannah Sievert. Ryan Locante also out there for the Torrent as well. Couldn't find Lola Wojcik, controlled by the Kics. Alexa Orozco, haven't mentioned her much today. Sends it back to the keeper, LaQuaglia. Comes to the near side, and Jocelyn Prosick. Kics at times playing with fire out of the back. Anna Pons back there now in the center back position. Kics lose possession. Torrent over the ball again. Senya Moyer through the middle. Sydney Segal was looking to the right side, and Crivello couldn't find her. One touch for the Kics, but the Torrent regained possession. Again to the middle, and Moyer. Over to the right side, Wojcik gets around a defender. Plays a square ball that will be taken away by the Kics, who will look to counter. Through ball, threaded the needle, but even got through Anna Pons, who appears to be tiring a bit for the Kics, laboring out there, really working hard. Trying to put the pressure on the Torrent as they play the ball through the back, but again, that fresh lineup for the Torrent, making it difficult. And it will be ruled that that ball went off of the Kics, and it'll be a corner kick for the Torrent. Victoria Crivello able to win that corner, as it was Josie Bita who was marking her on the near side. But Bita was the last one to touch it. Torrent have been dangerous on set pieces at times. Miranda will take this one from the near side. Wind blowing directly into her face as she sends an outswinger. It was touched for a moment by the keeper, LaQuaglia, but she couldn't hold on to it. Essentially a second try on the corner here. No touch from LaQuaglia that time. Yes, actually they do say she got a hold of it, so it'll be another corner for the Torrent on the far side this time. I didn't think LaQuaglia got her fingertips on that ball, but apparently she did. So they'll send Katie Swenson over to the other side, and she'll take this time for FC Milwaukee Torrent. This time with that breeze again, coming from the north or the south, expect an in-swinger. That's what we get. Sent right back towards Katie Swenson. She'll play it along the edge of the 18. Outside, a little bit of a slip. Locante trying to send that ball forward. Couldn't get her footing. Correction, that was Lola Wojcik there. Goal kick for the Chicago Kics. Actually, I'm even going to correct my correction there. That was Liesl Auden who had that shot for the Torrent. We'll get it straight one of these times. Auden right there in the middle for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Physical challenge from Katie Swenson. Both of these Swenson sisters, not afraid to mix it up. Over to the right side, Crivello. Back to Wojcik. Played all the way to the back, and Kelly Swenson. Near side, Owens, back to Kelly Swenson. Torrent content with this 1-0 lead in the 38th minute to look for the right opportunity. Cannot blame them. Possession has been about 70-30 in favor of the Torrent thus far today. Kics had their opportunities early on, but pretty much for the last 25 minutes, it's been all FC Milwaukee Torrent. Offside is the call. Sophia Miranda able to play it on LaQuaglia, but the flag went up first. We enter the 39th minute. Again, it was the Adriana Alberts goal in the 12th minute that has the Torrent up on the Kics. Trying to avenge that earlier 2-1 loss this season, FC Milwaukee Torrent. 50-50 ball in the middle, won by the Kics. But the first touch is too heavy. And the Torrent will get a throw in after we get a kick substitution. Ella Rucka comes back to the table. She'll head back in for Anna Pons, who, as we mentioned, was working very hard in the back. She has earned her rest as she takes the penny from her teammates and heads over to take a seat next to the Kics coaching staff. Good through ball, picked up by Segal. First ball doesn't work out, but it comes right back to her. Second ball in the middle, 1-2 ball, not there. Segal able to win it again. Over to the left side, that's Sievert. Further left, Katie Swenson. Couple touches along the edge of the 18. Was that last touch by the Kics? Yes, it was. Corner for the Torrent. Katie Swenson on the far side. That is the southeast corner of Hart Park. Another in-swinger over the top of everybody. I know they don't like their ketchup on their hot dogs in Chicago, but that one had too much mustard. Brielle Rochester to come in for the Chicago Kics. She replaces Emma Doyle. Busy times down in Chicago this weekend. Of course, they've got that NASCAR street race going on in Chicago this weekend. They have struggled with some weather delays down there, and certainly the disruption to the already sometimes hectic downtown Chicago traffic has at times not won fans. But it was a neat story that I saw about how yesterday there was a fender bender between two cars on DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Of course, the stretch of 41 that's right along Lake Michigan through downtown Chicago, and it occurred near where some of the NASCAR haulers were, and with nothing better going on with the weather delays, some of the guys hopped out of the haulers and actually helped one of the folks in the fender bender fix up the front of their car and sent them back on their way. Exactly. They said they took the bumper off, repaired a couple things, and got the car back working again, and probably won a couple fans in the process. So great touches for the Torrent around the edge of the 18 to find the open Segal on the near side. Again, that tiki-taka style that we sometimes see the Torrent like to use when they can sense that teams are not moving defensively because they've worn them down. It's partly what you can do when you have as deep of a bench as the Torrent have, but it's also just the way they play. Quality touches in small spaces. Although that ball was played out over the end line, it'll be a goal kick for the Chicago Kics. So, yes, a busy weekend in Chicago, to say the least. Summertime, of course, in the Midwest pretty much doesn't matter which of the major cities you're in. There's always something going on, of course. We talked about this last week as well, but this was the second weekend of Summerfest in Milwaukee. Always a great time to come up to the city of the brew. Couple bounces over the top of Sydney Segal. She tries to control. Her touch has some side spin to it. It goes out over the end line, and it will be a goal kick for the Chicago Kics. Had a chance to get to the festival grounds myself on Friday. My first ever time watching the elements, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and that was an outstanding show. Yep, they closed their regular set with September. They came out one song encore, Written in the Stone. Opened up with Shining Star. Even made a point to say that as much as they wanted to play all the songs that were top 10 on the charts, they also wanted to play a lot of the songs that for the fans were top 10 in their hearts, and that is an exact quote. Although pretty much anything Earth, Wind, and Fire does is we get a corner coming up here for FC Milwaukee Torrent in the 44th minute. They could probably play Mary Had a Little Lamb and make it sound pretty funky. Some of the best musicianship of any group we've seen over the course of the last 50 years. So that was a good show, and lovely. The band was also there on Friday night. Had a chance to catch their big hits as that one is sent up and over off the corner. after it was sent into the middle and then rebounded back outside. Their song Broken. Great time of year to come up to Milwaukee. Again, I am not being paid by City of Milwaukee Tourism Board or anything. I just love this town. And if you're watching down in Chicago or Columbus again today, make some time yet this summer. Summerfest is going on one more weekend. State Fair at the start of August. Always a good time to come up to town as well. That's in West Allis, which is just west of here. A little bit south of where we are in Wauwatosa as well, but nothing against Chicago in the summer as well. Been down there for summer dance, the activities along Navy Pier. Lollapalooza, Taste of Chicago, Chicago Blues Festival, shot on, over the top and in! Katie Swenson, 2-0 FC Milwaukee Torrent! Out of the run of play, Katie Swenson strikes from 40 yards out! And the Torrent double their advantage! Talking about Taste of Chicago, Chicago gets a taste of Katie Swenson's medicine! Score the goal in the 45th minute, and the Torrent now are up 2-0. A golazo from Katie Swenson over the top of everybody, and that'll do it for the first half. FC Milwaukee Torrent playing some of their best soccer at the best time of year to do it on the way into the postseason. A dominant first half against the Chicago Kics, and they will take a 2-0 lead into the locker room. Alberts and Katie Swenson each with goals in the first half, and FC Milwaukee Torrent has been clinical against this Kics team, the only one that has beaten it thus far this year. What a first half for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Again, possession left and right and up and down, and 2 goals to show for it. They will go into the halftime with the advantage. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll get you set for the second half, and we will have second half action for you. This is FC Milwaukee Torrent Soccer on YouTube. Getting set for the second half here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin on this lovely July day. Getting ready for the 4th of July here in the state of Wisconsin and the city of Milwaukee. Big fireworks show tomorrow night along the lakefront, and of course all kinds of activities going on Tuesday. But first things first, we've had some fireworks from FC Milwaukee Torrent in the first half. They've got a 2-0 lead on the Chicago Kics FC squad that is here today, and it has been on the strength of two outstanding goals, the first of which was scored by Adriana Alberts from the right wing. That came in the 12th minute. Alberts took one touch on the ball on her right. It fell to her left, and then she curled the ball into the far side netting. Great goal, and that was what got the scoring started in this contest. Then at the end of the first half, Katie Swenson took everyone in the park by surprise by taking a shot from 35 yards out. And it was a brilliant strike over the top of everyone, including Chicago Kics FC keeper Alexandria LaQuaglia. It found the back of the net, and that made it 2-0 FC Milwaukee Torrent. It was a quiet first half for the most part for the Torrent, with the exception of the two goals. It wasn't a half that you felt like they were completely taking the Kics to school, but it's that quiet dominance that we see from the Torrent. They spend a lot of time over the ball. They don't turn the ball over. The Kics at times at the start of the half were able to get out and run in transition, trying to counter what the Torrent were looking to do, but the Torrent just wore the Kics down. Halfway through the half, the Torrent just went with an entirely new look on the attack, and as a result, the Torrent were able to come out and just dominate that first half by just breaking down the Kics, and when they needed the strike, they got the strike to get the goals that they got. Just a very good look for the Torrent to begin this run towards the postseason now that the Torrent know that they are Lake Michigan Division champions, and the Torrent will have possession to begin the second half as Peter Bernardi checks to make sure that everything is okay with his linesman, then toots on his whistle, and we are underway in this second half. A little tweet, if you will. Although not too many tweets, you'll hit your Twitter limit. And we know at this point that if you go over 300 tweets, then you've got a bit of a problem. At least that's the way it is this weekend until Elon Musk pays his bills. I've ranged into territory I shouldn't be ranging into right now. FC Milwaukee Torrent will be moving from the south to the north, or from the right to the left on your computer screen, assuming you're not holding your screen sideways or upside down, which if you are, put your screen down because that's going to be uncomfortable trying to do that for the next 45 minutes. Back into the middle. Ella Rucka. Savannah Lebovich. Over to the left side, and Brielle Rochester. Back to the right side. This is the dangerous time in the half because the Kics, of course, have had those 15 minutes to rest up, get back fresh. Want to make sure you don't give up a goal early here in the second half if you are FC Milwaukee Torrent. Trying to pitch another shutout here. With that 2-0 lead, it is still Mickey Easter out there in goal, maintaining the clean sheet thus far. Ball played backwards. Sophia Skubis back out there. Attempt to send the ball forward is sent back from whence it came. Optimistic ball. Possession taken away by FC Milwaukee Torrent. Maddie Solaric. Elsie Twombly over to the right side. Sophia Balistreri back towards the middle. One touch, two touches. Some complaints from the crowd as there was a little bit of contact. No call. Lauren Hernandez. Nice move by Rucka. Gets around her defender. But her pass cannot find McKenna Shaw, who had the first of two goals in the first matchup between the Kics and the Torrent. And now the Torrent take possession back. Sent towards the middle, Adriana Alberts. Again, she had the first goal of the match. Great ball over to the right side. Outstanding look. Sophia Balistreri will take it in the corner. She will send in the cross. It comes to the middle. A couple players lost their footing there, including Skubis. She's the one who's able to recover first. Kics take back possession. Now they'll look to counter, heading back the other way. Ella Rucka. Ball to Josie Beta. The Golden Eagle sends it towards the middle. Ivana Lebovic stops, sends it in with the left foot. Mickey Easter, no issues. We saw this in the first half as well. The Kics, while they have their energy back, playing a little more aggressively. Not that they're not working hard throughout the 90 minutes of the match. But as it often is in the WPSL, it's not as easy to get players to come on the road with you as it is to have them with you at home. Balistreri back into the middle. Attempt at a 1-2 ball for Hernandez. Couldn't get it to go. She'll try and recover, but the Kics will get possession. Played to the back, and Mia Dosen as the train comes by here at Hart Park. Carly Ferguson getting the start in the second half for the Kics. Dispossessed. Ball comes to the near side. Maddie Solaric tries to cross it towards the middle. Ball deflected by Skubis, controlled by the Torrent. Ball touched back towards the penalty spots. Out wide, Balistreri shot on, almost deflected by the defender. That's a good decision by Savannah Lebovic to let that ball go to LaQuaglia. If she touches that ball, the risk of the own goal goes up quite a bit. Instead, she lets it go. LaQuaglia is able to make the stop. Kelly Swenson in the back. You know how she operates. A lot of contact, and they're going to call that foul against the Kics. It's the positioning with Swenson that you see so much. Just knows the right angle to take on the ball every single time. If you're a young player out there, just watch when Kelly Swenson is defending, how she cuts off the attacker's angle to the ball. Always exemplary, Kelly Swenson in the back, and again, had the pleasure of watching her play at UWM. That's going to be a handball. Bella Lebovic in the back. It just rolled right down her shoulder and her arm. And the result will be a set piece for the Milwaukee Torrent. Let's see if they can take advantage. This is Kelly Swenson out of the back. This will be on the 26-yard line of the Gridiron football field. That means this is 36 yards out as that goal is at the back of the Gridiron end zone. Kelly Swenson chips it over the top, looking for a teammate, headed up and on, and it'll be a corner kick for FC Milwaukee Torrent as that was a defender's head that got on that ball. And we've talked about dangerous touches by the Kics defense. That was a extremely dangerous one, as we have seen a number of FC Milwaukee Torrent shots today that haven't threatened as much as that defensive head. In-swinger on the corner. Touched by the Kics first. Outside, Higgins. Couldn't get much on it. Spinning around inside the 18. Controlled for the moment by the Torrents. Sent towards the outside in Balistreri. Couple Torrent players in the area, crossed in. Actually off the crossbar, as that cross drifted a bit for the Torrent. Headed back towards goal, and this time it'll be LaQuaglia who will be able to control. Adriana Alberts with that header there, and it's those tweener balls. We talked a bit about it in last week's game. Is it a cross? Is it a shot? Sometimes the wind holds that ball up a little bit. Everyone gets fooled. LaQuaglia got fooled. She just watched that ball rattle off the crossbar. Again, coming at the angle that it was at. And it was kind of tailing a little bit from north to south away from the goal, but almost tucked under and in. The Torrent really taking the Kics by surprise today with their goals, and that was almost the third one that, again, didn't necessarily appear to the naked eye to be an attempt on goal at first, but enough of a deceptive strike that it almost went in. Again, the Torrent just dangerous in a number of different ways today. Don't expect to see Katie Swenson taking a strike from, again, 35 yards out, which was about the distance. In the moment, I called it 40. It was a bit of an angle, so, you know, if you add a little bit of the Pythagorean theorem to it, maybe it was more like 40, but good day on the whole for the Torrent as we have a foul called against the Torrent. Free kick coming for the Kics. Skubis is the one who will send it away. Over the top, first header by the Torrent, but that'll go out beyond the touchline. Throw in for the Kics in the attacking third. Ferguson is the one who will throw it in. Gets it back after a couple touches. Torrent collapse. Send it away. Ball sent forward by Bella Lebovic. Kics able to maintain possession, but they're moving in the wrong direction here. Bella Lebovic tries again. Outstanding interception for the Torrent, and Adriana Alberts stepping to the ball. Over the top. Alberts again, a lot of contact. Ball goes out. Throw in for the Torrent. Unless he's going to call the foul. At first it looked like he was just indicating the throw. Yep, he will give the throw. Shoulder to shoulder. Stepping to the ball nicely, Ivana Lebovic. Touched out, throw in for the Kics over the top, looking for Beta. And once again, Kelly Swenson. Just the right touch at just the right time. Puts the foot up, puts it over the top of Beta, forces her to stop. Disrupts the Kics' attack. Orozco tries to cross. Knocked out, and we will have a Chicago Kics corner. Don't think we've seen one of these yet today. It'll be taken by Alexa Orozco. Our good buddy T-Man. Banging the drum slowly, as it were. Deflection. Deflection, almost one of the better shots of the day for the Kics. Sent towards goal. But the spin was going towards the right instead of towards the left for Orozco. And it goes out for a goal kick for Mickey Easter. Wind has picked up a little bit, and now it's coming out of the due north here at Hart Park. So Kics do have the wind at their back in the second half. Hasn't seemed to slow down the Torrent much. Kics have had more possession here in the second half, to say the least. Also getting a little bit more aggressive about their opportunities as well. Ball headed forward. Lebovic. A lot of contact along the ground. It's controlled by McKenna Shaw. Again, she had a goal in the first meeting. Haven't talked a lot about her in this contest. Headed over to the right side. Mickey Easter clears it away towards the touchline. Got a lot of air under that one. It's not going to go out. 2v2. Torrent win the battle, get possession. Ball sent right between the two Kics players by Kelly Swenson. Sent out by the Kics. Throw in for the Torrent. As mentioned, it'll be Columbus Eagles FC that will be the foe for the Torrent in that conference championship match. Eagles have put up a lot of goals in some of their matches. Their most recent victory yesterday, a 9-0 win over FC Spirit. Got a win over FC Dayton by a 5-4 tally. Topped the Dutch Lions from Dayton We are familiar with the Chicago Dutch Lions here in Milwaukee by an 8-0 total. Defeated FC Pride 4-0. Got a 6-0 win on the road against the Dayton Dutch Lions. Balistreri, cross over the end line. Ruled to be no deflection. A record of 6-1-1 in WPSL play for the Columbus Eagles. Their one defeat came against FC Pride at Pride 4-1. Talked about their draw against FC Dayton. It was that 5-4 victory over FC Dayton, and that came at one of the shrines of American soccer, historic Crew Stadium in Columbus. The first purpose-built soccer stadium in the United States. Of course, the Columbus Crew, or we should say now Columbus Crew FC, have moved on to a new facility in Columbus after there was some controversy about the fact that they were considering a move to Austin for a while, but then Austin ended up getting an MLS expansion team. But historic Crew Stadium, as the Kics try to control the ball along the end line inside the 18. It is taken away momentarily, and then we'll get a foul against McKenna Shaw as she trips up the Torrent defender. Both trying to get back to the 50-50 ball. Quick restart for Kelly Swenson. Sends it down the pitch. U.S. men's national team, once upon a time, used to play a lot of its matches at historic Crew Stadium. Yes, the men do play this evening, as marketing director Scott Wegner points out. Not at historic Crew Stadium, however. Should be a great match here at Hart Park next week, Saturday night. And again, we want to see you here watching it in person. Right side, McKenna Shaw, played towards the middle. Guess who's there? Kelly Swenson. A little bit of contact after the fact there as Josie Beta sends Swenson to the ground. That's some Marquette on UWM crime. Referee did point it out, but allowed action to play on. Shot towards net. Diving save made by LaQuaglia. Now we'll get a whistle and a foul, and we will get a booking. Yep, and that's going to go against Josie Beta of the Kics, as she has now had a few fouls in the last few minutes, and that is referee Peter Bernardi's way of saying, all right, I've seen enough. Beta looks like she's smiling about it, perhaps a little pleased with herself for being the aggressor. But now she is on a booking. Beta will be entering her sophomore season at Marquette after appearing in 18 matches for the Golden Eagles last year. Frank Pelaez's squad. Say Frank Pelaez. I was corrected on his pronunciation after knowing him for 15 years last year. Outstanding run for the Torrent here. Nice turn, move over the ball, left-footed shot. Not much pace on it for Alexa Miletus. LaQuaglia able to make the stop. Throw in for the Torrent. And it has been pointed out to me that that is not LaQuaglia in goal anymore for the Chicago Kics. It appears to be Sam McPhee. At least that's who we have as number 25. A lot of contact. Beta with the yellow card. Now maybe with a bruise after meeting with Adriana Alberts. Both players ended up going to the ground. Bernardi does not rule it worthy of a booking, but does give the set piece to the Chicago Kics. Ivana Lebovic over the ball. Again, nothing on the line in this match, but that doesn't mean you don't have two physical teams out here. Ivana Lebovic headed away. Kelly Swenson. Torrent clear. We'll say that's Sam McPhee that's now in goal for the Kics. Again with keepers. Not always the most obvious just who's who, but that's who we have as 25 on our roster, so we'll run with that. Lauren Hernandez with it in the middle for FC Milwaukee Torrent. So the Torrent defense will be tested by that Columbus side. Again, hard for us to say exactly what that attack will bring. And again, the Torrent, even though they have put up a lot of goals this season, that doesn't mean that they're a very direct team. Sometimes when you see big goal totals like that, you think it's a team that takes a lot of shots, plays a lot of balls in from outside the 18, and of course today we say that the Torrent aren't that kind of side. Sam McPhee struggling with that ball as Balistreri got a touch on it. McPhee maybe not as aggressive as she should have been there, giving Balistreri the opportunity to get a foot on the ball. But she does eventually control and sends it down the pitch with the right foot. But yeah, it can be the thought sometimes that when you see teams that put up large amounts of goals that they fly down the pitch and play a very quick, up-tempo, Arsenal style of football, but the Torrent have proven that wrong by being able to score in a lot of different ways. Shot on, tipped away, and saved by Sam McPhee. Corner kick for the Torrent. Lainey Higgins flying through the middle. Chaos in the 18. The Torrent almost took advantage. But a great save by McPhee. Anna Pons comes on for the Kics, replacing McKenna Shaw. Corner to come for FC Milwaukee Torrent. In swinger from the near side. Didn't swing in all that much. Kind of went more towards the penalty stop. Kics able to clear. In the back, Greta Hansen. Kelly Swenson, some backspin on that ball. Headed up by Balistreri. Nothing but Kics players around the ball. Torrent were caught hanging back just a little bit there, and as a result, the Kics will take possession. Who we believe is Sam McPhee, sends it down the pitch. First touch is played by Adriana Alberts, a little too heavy. Controlled by the Kics. We're going to get a whistle and a foul. That was Beta again. She's got to be careful on a booking. Took down Greta Hansen. Last thing the Kics would want, down 2-0, would also be to beat down a woman in this match. Balistreri. Forward. Hansen. Another good ball forward. Looking for Miletus. Couldn't find her. Good effort. Again, the Torrent putting a lot of different things on film today for this Columbus team to think about. And again, with the matches online, nowadays, you know what other teams are going to do. We are now approaching that midway point in the second half. 68th minute. So, of course, we see almost every player who has ever put on a kit for the FC Milwaukee Torrent women's side stepping towards the table. Notable that on the bench, I saw Jordan Raleigh kit earlier today. digging back a little bit. Ball deflected out. We'll have a corner kick for the Torrent, and the sub still hanging back right now. Andy Davi not sending them on just yet. Molitas heads to the far side. She will take this corner for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Looks like she will send it as an in-swinger. Swing of the left leg. Kics able to clear it momentarily just outside the 18. Controlled by Balistreri on a side of the pitch that she's not familiar with. Cleared away now by the Kics. That will roll all the way back to Mickey Easter, who is outside the 18. She sends it to her right in the trustworthy feet of Kelly Swenson, who we, again, believe is also on a booking today, but no concerns really about anything too serious happening to her. Good ball over to the near side. Maddie Solaric, one of the three kicking Solaric sisters, as we talked about earlier in the first half. Good ball towards the middle. Greta Hansen gets by two defenders. Off the keeper's foot, off the woodwork, and back in! Greta Hansen! The last time I saw a team from Chicago's defense got beaten that badly, Aaron Rodgers was involved. 3-0 FC Milwaukee Torrent. Greta Hansen gets 2 shots and 1 goal, and now it's 3-0 in favor of FCMT. Torrent make their substitutions with this 3-0 lead after that goal in the 69th minute. Greta Hansen unassisted. And more than likely, as the reward for that goal, she is going to get the opportunity to watch the rest of this match from the Hart Park bench on the south side of the pitch. Again, all the new faces out there for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Actually, Hansen's still out there for FC Milwaukee Torrent, although she's now moved into more of a back position. So that means she is the one who stays out, and it is Kelly Swenson who comes off. Katie Swenson we now see on the left wing for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Lola Wojcik on the far side. So yes, Katie Swenson will get a break. She'll get the chance to rest her legs in preparation for next Saturday. Ball crossed into the middle. Senya Moyer. 360 move, gets around the defender, plays a through ball, onside, tap towards goal, but a save is made by Sam McPhee. Torrent have opened things up suddenly here in the middle of the second half. That was Sophia Miranda. Sent that one with the left foot, trying to go opposite side. Twombly, we believe? Okay, that was Elsie Twombly, corrected. Thought I saw the 11 down there, but we're saying Twombly on the goal. On the goal, okay, thank you very much. Thought I saw a 27 there. Instead, it was the top of the 3, so a little bit less of a surprise with Elsie Twombly scoring that goal. She had a goal in the first meeting between these two teams. In fact, the lone goal for FC Milwaukee Torrent in what was a 2-1 loss to the Chicago Kics FC squad that is the opposition today. There we go, as we are looking at a replay of the goal here in the box right now, and indeed it was Elsie Twombly. Got caught thinking that it was Greta Hansen, but from the different angle from the camera, able to see now that it was Elsie Twombly. So we'll mute the sound when we post the highlight on social media, and hopefully all will be well. Substitution for the Chicago Kics. Emma Doyle will come on for the Kics. 3 goals, 3 different goal scorers today for FC Milwaukee Torrent. And at the end of the day, Andy Davi probably not concerned with who puts them in as much as the fact that they are going in, and they certainly are going in. Conversation now with Andy and the fourth official. I think, so it's LC Twombly. I think you said Elsa, perhaps. So we'll get there eventually. If only you could hear the conversations in the booth right now. Hopefully you can't. Throw in for the Torrent. We have a little over 17 minutes left in this match, and see if maybe we can get that clock to move a little faster here. It's always an adventure. It's a small box up here, but again, between Scott Wagner, Kevin O'Connor, and I, there's just nothing but love. Nothing but love. Nothing but love. I'll keep saying it until it happens. Katie Swenson over the ball. Set piece here for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Maybe trying to add a 4th goal. Ball touched back towards the middle. Headed away by Anna Pons. 50-50 ball. Have a couple fans in front of our play-by-play position that are kind of doing the prairie dog thing right now, popping their head up and down in front of our broadcast spot. I don't know if you remember, they had the game back in the day at Chuck E. Cheese where you had the mallets and the prairie dogs would pop up. If I had a mallet here right now, I could probably just, some of the kids that are popping their head into the box right now. Kevin's got his microphone, his PA mic. Might be able to work. Just 500 points each, right? Win enough tickets, you can win yourself a nice little racer, you know? Pack of chewing gum. Ball played into the middle, headed on, and up and over the top. No. Good thing there's a fence there, otherwise that ball would get run over by the train. Hang on for the last 15 minutes of this one, folks. You never know where these broadcasts are going to go. Once again, this match not really of any meaning to either side with things all decided. It's just a matter of points at this stage of the game. What will be the finishing number for both FC Milwaukee Torrent and Chicago Kics FC when the standings go into the record books? Things will be much more serious on Saturday nights when FC Milwaukee Torrent takes on Columbus Eagles FC. That will be a win-or-go-home contest. Far side, crossed into the middle. One touch by the Kics. Sent over the end line, corner kick FC Milwaukee Torrent. Torrent have really challenged that back line of the Chicago Kics today. And the tough part, too, is the Kics, well aware that the slightest mistake, the smallest window of opportunity left open for FC Milwaukee Torrent, they have been able to take advantage 3 different times today. Just when you think that Katie Swenson isn't a threat from 35 yards out, bang! 45th minute, she puts one in the back of the net. In the middle, a swat taken by the goalie, McPhee. Couldn't touch it. The Kics lucky that one gets cleared. Sam McPhee, the keeper, just kind of reached up, tried to punch it. Missed it by a good 6 inches at least. Torrent go back on the attack. Tried to send the ball into the middle, sent away by the Kics. Far side, Emma Doyle, substitute. Kics content to play the ball backwards. Torrent challenging. Victoria Crivello back out there for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Greta Hansen, the one that remained from the group that started the second half. She'll watch that ball go all the way back to Mickey Easter. It's also been fun to watch that combination between Easter and, again, Katie Swenson, who's not out there right now, but the communication between keeper and center back to keep control of the opposing attack. And we've talked about the number of shutouts that the Torrent have been able to post. Mickey Easter, the beneficiary of that solid back line that the Torrent have had throughout the year, posting a number of clean sheets. It's been a great combination. Towards the middle, headed away initially by the Kics and Ponds. Torrent get possession back. Senya Moyer in the back. She'll take it back. Have to see how many times I can use the word back in consecutive sentences. I think it's going to end here as Katie Swenson, who is not playing in the back. Haha, I got one in. Now it's played forward. A couple touches. Shot on and in! Lola Wojcik. Goal number 4 for FC Milwaukee Torrent. And they're going to finish this season with 3 more points. It is now 4-0 for the Torrent as they will avenge the earlier loss to the Chicago Kics and go into the Midwest Conference Championship game with a great deal of attacking momentum. Lola Wojcik, so calm over the ball. Good touches with the left foot, and Wojcik makes it 4-0. The 4th different goal scorer of the day for FC Milwaukee Torrent. It comes in the 80th minute. We used the word clinical last week against Iowa. Well, we use it again today. And it's not just the first 11 either. Yes, it does get a tad easier as you face a Kics team that does not have more than 4 players on its bench today. When you've got this full assortment, you can shuffle 9 new players onto the pitch. But you still have to have the quality. And even those who weren't in the first 11 today for FC Milwaukee Torrent have had it. Ultimately, it has been 2 players in the first 11 and 2 substitutes. 2 of our cousin substitutes. Courtesy of cousin subs that have scored goals. Better bread, better subs. True for both cousin subs and FC Milwaukee Torrent, at least the subs part. Yeah, I don't know if any of our Torrent players are good at baking bread, but don't have that data on me, but don't want to count them out. I mean, as well as they have played this year, I would imagine some of them are probably pretty handy with a bread maker as well. Yeah, it's Kevin O'Connor, my producer, mentioning that as many people started baking sourdough bread during the pandemic, you never know. We'll have to check on that between now and Saturday, see if any of our Torrent players, and we won't, you know, this being 2023 too, women's side, men's side, you never know. In the middle, Liesl Aden. Ball played forward, shot on, through the legs of the keeper and in! Goal number 5 for FC Milwaukee Torrent as Aden finds a teammate. And the Torrent are able to get yet another goal. The teammate was not Aden. Aden was the one with the pass. It was scored by Sophia Miranda. Quick restart as Miranda was still throwing the celebratory mini ball into the stands to be retrieved by the young kids that were around. Took me a second there to identify a number. Wanted to confirm that it was Miranda. So my apologies there. Got the assist right away. It was Auden that found Miranda. And ultimately, Miranda just in a position where sometimes you take that shot. She was putting it right on Sam McPhee, and ultimately it went 5-hole on Sam McPhee, right through her legs and into the net. Just kind of been that sort of day for the Chicago Kics, who have to be happy that they got the win the first time they played FC Milwaukee Torrent. They're the only team that's been able to beat this Torrent women's side this season. But today, they have been a long way from finding their way against this Torrent side. And we're getting to the point, too, where when the Torrent have the ball in the attacking third, they're sensing that they have, again, enough energy in their legs that it just takes a move or two to beat the Kics Central defenders. As that ball is played outside. Another shot on. That's off the far side of the nets. Victoria Crivello takes that shot. Substitution coming on for Chicago Kics FC. Carly Ferguson will be the one to enter. By the way, with the Miranda goal, that is now 5 different goal scorers for FC Milwaukee Torrent today. 3 substitutes, 2 in the first 11. There is no one on this Torrent side that you can leave unmarked. Every once in a while you hear about Ajax and Total Football, the style that the Dutch played in the 70s and the 80s, where seemingly every player on the pitch could fill any role. Shot goes wide off the foot of Senya Moyer. It's not quite that in terms of the positioning. The Torrent keep their shape very well and, again, remain very organized. But it's more the fact that if you are up top, you can distribute, you can shoot, you have the option to do both. You can create. Every player that is in the Torrent attack has that ability to do one of those things. More than one of those things. All of those things. And if you're a team that has to defend against that on the road, on this unfamiliar and fast surface that is Hart Park, perhaps without your full allotment of teammates, again, given some of the time constraints that make travel difficult for some of these clubs. That ball is just sent towards net, and it goes short of the near post. Goal kick for the Kics. Sent away. We'll have a throw-in for the Torrents, and we will have a sub for the Kics. Ella Ruckel will return. She's got Mia Dosen. 88th minute of this match, 5-0 FC Milwaukee Torrent. Was 2-0 at the half. Kics ran with the Torrent for the first 10 minutes of this match. Kics had the first good opportunity of the match. Mentioned Dosen as she comes off the pitch. One-touch strike. Miranda plays something resembling a cross. The flag doesn't go up. Shot on, saved by Sam McPhee. Crivello again on the far side. Kics thought she was offside. Far side linesman disagreed. Yeah, it's going to be a showdown when the Torrent take on the Columbus Eagles next week, Saturday night. Hard to say what we're going to see in that match. Really is. Could be a 7, 8, or 9 goal affair. Could be one where the teams understand what each other are going to do and it turns into a very strategic sort of match where 1-0 might be all that it takes. Again, next week, Saturday, 7 o'clock, Hart Park. I will guarantee you that will be some of the best women's soccer you will see in the Midwest region this summer. For those of you who are college soccer fans out there, whether it be Marquette, UWM, one of our Division III schools in the area, state high school girls soccer tournament just wrapped up. Saw some great matches in that competition. Division I was 2 schools from the Classic 8 conference. Offside, the Kics, Kettle Moraine, and Muskego. Had a spectacular Division IV state championship match between Kiel and Cedar Grove, Belgium, not Milwaukee area schools, although for Kiel, Taylor Schad, who has just scored goals at an amazing pace for the Kiel Raiders, had 4 goals in that contest as Kiel defeated Cedar Grove, Belgium by a 6-5 final in overtime. If you're a high school soccer fan, if you're a college soccer fan, definitely consider coming out next Saturday, this coming Saturday, we should say, to see the Torrents and the Columbus Eagles. But today, it was the Torrent finishing the regular season with a bang. Your final score in this one, FC Milwaukee Torrent 5, Chicago Kics FC 0. 5 goals, 5 different goal scorers in the match for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Adriana Alberts in the 12th minute. Katie Swenson in the 45th minute. Elsie Twombly in the 69th minute. Lola Wojcik in the 80th minute. And Sophia Miranda to round out the scoring in the 82nd minute. A complete effort on the part of FC Milwaukee Torrent. If you thought the Torrent were going to take it easy today against this Chicago Kics team, where both teams had nothing to play for because the Torrent had already clinched the Lake Michigan Division Championship, you were mistaken. FC Milwaukee Torrent hitting its stride at the right time heading into the postseason, and now they will take on the challenge that is the Columbus Eagles FC side that will come here on Saturday in the WPSL Midwest Conference Championship game. An outstanding day for FC Milwaukee Torrent. And it's not just the 5 goals that the Torrent put up, yet another clean sheet for Mickey Easter in goal. Kics had a little more possession in the second half, it seemed like, than they did in the first. Well, that doesn't mean that they were able to find the back of the net at any point in time, and the Torrents are going into the postseason with a record of 7-1 in WPSL play. Give them 21 points after taking on all comers in the Lake Michigan Division and only falling once to this very Chicago Kics FC team in Chicago. But it was a completely different story today here in Wauwatosa. So one more reminder, the Columbus Eagles FC side that will come in here on Saturday night, they are champions as well of their division. That is the National Road Division. They were able to claim that championship over FC Dayton and FC Pride. 7 o'clock, Saturday night. Be here or be square. Hart Park, Wauwatosa, Midwest Conference Championship game. For more information, head to MilwaukeeTorrent.com. That'll do it for our broadcast today. I want to thank Scott Wegner, our marketing director, who was here, all of our camera people, my producer and public address announcer and humorist and promoter and just about everything else you can imagine. Always doing a great job. This guy does not get nearly enough credit for what he does for FC Milwaukee Torrent on both the men's and the women's side, so I'm going to give him plenty of it right now. Kevin O'Connor, one of the best guys in the business. Been really fun working with him this season. Hoping I'll get the chance to work with him a few more times here this year after the Midwest Conference Championship game, and hopefully even further if the Torrent can get further. My name is Dan Pfeiffer. I'm saying be a fan. Thanks for watching, and do make sure to join us either via the video stream or, even better, in person on Saturday night when the Torrent go up against the Columbus Eagles. Your final score here in the last match of the regular season for FC Milwaukee Torrent's women's side. FC Milwaukee Torrent 5, Chicago Kics FC 0. From Hart Park in Wauwatosa, this is Dan Pfeiffer saying be a fan, and good afternoon, everybody.